Good evening, Broncos country. Welcome to another edition of Bourbon Broncos No BS. My name's 𝐸𝐿. I got Adam with me here tonight, and we are glad you are here. We got a ton to talk about, mostly hearing what you guys have to say with what's going on with the Broncos. We wrapped up the draft. We got our draft players selected. All the unrestricted college free agents are selected. We have players invited to the rookie minicamp this week, and we got the schedule release coming out next week. So for anyone out there who says that it's the off season, I always say there's no such thing as an off season in football. Adam, how are you doing tonight, good sir?
I'm good, 𝐸𝐿. I have a steak in my tummy, so I am excellent.
Winning right there, guys. I love it. We got Sean up in here already. How you doing, guys? Post your comments, post your questions. Want to hear what you guys have to say about the Broncos. Right now, we're going to start talking about the schedule since that's being released next week. As much as I would love to talk about steak and all the deliciousness there, because I am a steak fan 100%. And we're definitely not going to talk about the Avalanche because I am still very mad at them. How dare I bring that up, right?
we were flying high after AG played hero ball again last night. So, but yeah, that was sad. It was sad.
Agreed. Hey, Judson, glad you're here. I like the comment. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Gary, how you doing? And Tracy as well. Well, let me pull up the schedule here, at least who our opponents are going to be. And I think just kind of talk briefly about what you see, Adam, here from the schedule. And
all right,
what stands out to you? What games are you looking forward to? And same for everybody out there watching. One, hit that share button, but two, what games are you looking forward to? What do you think are going to be the highlights? What are some concerning areas? And take it away, man.
The NFL always tries to have key divisional games late in the year. That's why we had Kansas City at the finale last season. I would count on the league doing something along like that again. So it's probably going to be something similar to, like, we'll play the Chiefs later on in the year, and we'll probably play the Chargers most likely. As far as really surprising games, we'll see. The Giants. We'll see Abdul Carter first thing in the year, or first, we'll see him at some point. So I always like getting a glimpse at those guys. Mm-hmm. Cowboys fans are always an interesting. It's always an interest. It's an interesting. What's the word? Menagerie of people. There's a lot of cope in the air. There's a lot of remember when in the air.
A lot of remember when.
It's like, hey, how many Cowboys fans does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
Zero, because they just talk about how good the last light bulb was.
And that was from 20 years ago. The whole time they just been standing in a dark room.
Oh, I wish it was 20. Their glory days are heading towards lowered insurance rates at this point.
Yeah. That's so true. Look, that one's definitely gonna be a good one, and I'm excited to see when that is on the schedule. Judson here, Colts game, and we are expecting that to be at least an international game, probably in Berlin, from what we're hearing, but of course nothing official until we hear next week on the 14th. I'll tell you what, though. One, I fully expect the Broncos to have an early bye week this year, just because ours was late last year. And on top of that, seeing the Chiefs twice late in the season, I want to be surprised if we don't see them until the last 4 to 6 weeks in the season. I think that kind of favors Kansas City a little bit, and I'll go ahead and say, I think there's going to be some funny things once again, guys. But this is going to be a division that all three teams, and yes, I said 3 teams because I do not count the Raiders as being in our division. So there's really only 3 teams in competition for the AFC West, and it's going to be a tight one for sure, guys. Let's see what else. Jacob here. Eagles and Washington on the road is very, very tough. I think the worst thing we could see on the schedule is to have those games on the road back to back, man. Yeah. If there's one thing I would want to avoid, it's that situation. If we could split those up, we'd maybe have a chance to win one of them. Probably more Washington than Eagles. just because they're the Eagles, and that, you gotta admit, they're good. They are freaking good, the reigning champs. But to have those back-to-back, kind of be in a situation like we saw last year where we had a really tough road schedule early on. But man, that would suck, dude.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I think you also have to throw in there the Texans being another very tough game on the road. That's
Yep.
that's another division winner that's on the road. Say what you want about the Colts. I think if they ever figure out that Anthony Richardson is not the guy, and if they ever move on from that, I think they actually have a pretty decent team. Plus, that's essentially a neutral site game if that ends up being the international game. Plus, depending on when they have like that, I believe they start playing the international games about like week 6-ish. Yeah.
4 maybe. I think it seems like it's getting earlier.
Yeah. So typically the teams that play international games get the following week off. So the Broncos could potentially have a very early bye versus having a very late bye last season. So that could come into play when we are playing those tougher division games down the stretch. Instead of you could make the argument that it could work to our favor, because then if you're playing good ball going down the stretch, you want to keep playing good ball down the stretch.
Right.
It also could be that it really kind of leads to the attrition part of the game, which may be a negative. And so it's hard to say where everything will line up, but depending on that early buy, that I mean, in a perfect world, I would love to have the buy right smack dab in the middle of the season. Sometimes it works out that way, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't think that teams really prefer having that early buy because of how bad the attrition is at the end of the year. So that's something to keep in mind.
For sure. Some of the comments here, I like this from Jose. If the TV broadcasters, want to give us what we want, that Broncos Eagles in prime time, that could very well be. Or you know what I 100% expect to see as a primetime matchup above any other game, above Broncos Chiefs, is Broncos Commanders, because they are going to try and rake in as much money, as many viewers as possible for that quarterback battle between Bo Nix and what's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, thank you. I was hoping it would come to me halfway through the statement, and that's why I kind of rambled a little. I give up. It's not coming to me.
Get it along.
Jaden Daniels. but the whole conversation last year was which one was better, right? So to have that game on the schedule this year, I wouldn't, and the way both teams did last year, but especially the Broncos in regards to how little people thought of them and how little people thought of Bo Nix. That game, I think, is going to be a huge one, and we could see it any point during the year. But I'm not talking about Thursday night prime time. I'm thinking about Sunday night or Monday night football prime time for that one.
That's a really great point, Kevin. And we all know it's a quarterback-driven league. We know that's what people tune in for, and and casual fans know who plays quarterback. So when you have two studs, or basically 1 and 2 that finished in Rookie of the Year, and we all know our boy probably should have been higher up in that conversation than he was, but those are potentially showcase games. You play those in front of a lot of people. So I like what you're saying. I would not be surprised if this is Sunday night football or Monday night football type of game that we get thrown into.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, one of the things I've noticed from a lot of conversations I've heard on the radio and just on TV, ESPN and everything, when they are listing off all of these top tier quarterbacks in the AFC, they routinely are leaving. They have no problem including Jaden Daniels. He is one of the first names they list, and he's probably one of the first 4 or 5 names they list. Bo Nix, they continue to leave out of that conversation. Some of the best I've heard is, well, maybe in a couple years you're going to see Bo Nix. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What season were you? What did you see from Bo? Remember, he was playing with a broken back the last 6 weeks of the season, and you see what he did, in that Cincinnati game. You see what he did in that Browns game. Man, like, you're telling me he's not in that conversation? Get out of here. Get out of here, guys. Let's see. I like this from Jacob. This will make me laugh. Green Bay at home, Grossi versus Perna, Jello wrestling. I think, you know what? We're going to have an open invitation for those two to have some Jello wrestling at the Flagman tailgate in
There
the
we
back
go.
of Lot C, guys, where you get all the flags, 100 plus flags flying during the tailgate. We will set up a Jello wrestle pit, and then those two guys can come on down, have some beers with us, and then get a good show on before the game. So open invitation to those two guys at the Flagman tailgate for that game.
Looking at the schedule, Kevdan, how many prime time games do you think the Broncos are going to be involved in this year?
So if you're if you're looking at the Thursday night game and international game, there's two right there that they're going to count. I would not be surprised if you see at least two more, maybe a third flexed in at the end of the season based off of what the schedule is, how the the win-loss column and the records are falling, how the playoff picture is looking. So I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year you're looking at a total of 5+.
Wow. I would say 3 to 4 would be especially what you're saying with having a flexing game like later on in the year, especially if it's like a key like for first place type of game, and it's going to be a battle in between Knicks and Mahomes and Arrowhead, or it's going to be, coming down to the wire at Mile High. Oh yeah. 3 to 4 games I think is actually pretty, that maybe on the medium and low.
Medium. I think it's average, but again, I think that's very reasonable to expect from what we saw this last year. But now, if you're looking at ideas like this, from where to go? Oh, here you go from Judson. Great comment here. Caleb Williams at 68 sacks, and he was ranked 10 best rookie quarterbacks ahead of Bo. I mean, come on. So Broncos getting no respect. So is that going to come into play when it comes to the schedule in those primetime games? I would think if the NFL is all about making money, they're looking and seeing what the Broncos are doing and saying, hey, they went from 5.5 expected wins last year to now they're sitting at 9.5. So basically double the expected win total. And it's very reasonable to expect the Broncos are going to surpass that by at least 2 or 3 games. So you're going to want to put these guys in front of as many eyes as possible. You're going to want to highlight Bo Nix. But if they want to disrespect us, okay, they're only hurting themselves.
Exactly. Prognosticators say things that will get a reaction a lot of times. And unfortunately, Caleb Williams, for whatever you think of the guy, he gets a reaction. So it's one of those things that it's easy to talk about because he's easy to talk about. What can you say about Bo Nix? He played he played really good. He's a great neighbor. He
doesn't create drama.
No, he's already back in the facility doing work. He got his ankle scoped, and then he has actually been very happy and has gone out on the record and said that this is the first time he's had 2 off seasons in a row with the same offensive scheme.
Yep.
So you got this guy who, I mean, the acclimation period, even for any rookie quarterback, is very, very steep. So he already mitigated that. And I think all Broncos country was really hoping for out of last season to see out of him was to see a flash every once in a while.
Yeah, some progression, a little bit of progression, right?
But mostly just keep it in third, keep it in fourth. Don't lose us the game. We'll try to, and we'll keep it close late. Check. And if anything, we're later in the season. We're like, you can see the guys are looking at him like Bo's got to make us a play here. Going into, and I'm ranting now. Going into Arrowhead, where basically being doomed, where we should have been talking about. Bo Nix took us down where we needed a score in one of the most hostile places to play for anybody in a key divisional game where we outplayed them in every sense of the word, and only to lose on a derpy field goal. That's what we should have been talking about, was how Bo Nix basically grew up in front of our eyes that game. And it wasn't even the first time he did it, the Cincinnati game. the Cleveland game where he is. So we have the guy. We're like almost everybody is about like 90% sure this is going to be the guy. And when you have the guy, there's so many other things fall into place. So go ahead and doubt us at your own peril, like you're saying, Kev Dan.
For sure.
That if you doubt me or if you doubt us, no sweat off of me. We'll take our W with more satisfaction.
Very gladly. No, sleep on us. Please do. Please do. You're right. Bo Nix is this guy that I think, guys, again, if you're sitting here in the offseason saying I'm bored, go look at some Bo Nix highlights. Go look at his college career and look at what he's gone through to get to this point. And you'll really start to see the person behind the helmet there, right? You'll see, the various coaches he went through and was still able to do amazing things in colleges. You look at the terrible games he had, and then the bounce back he has, right? Not just in that year, not just the next game, but sometimes even in that game. And we saw that this year, right? So again, once you have the guy, you can build a team around that guy. Okay. It's not like, well, maybe if we do something here and maybe if we tweak this over here and right. And we saw from the year after Peyton Manning left all the way through us drafting Bo Nix, us trying that strategy, and it did not work. Okay, so look, I totally agreed. And Judson right here, exactly. Bo set several rookie records, good records too. Not like the Rockies setting records. Baducha, but look, it's really fantastic to hear. So I'm excited to see what he does next. Jose says, Bo Nix, if that's the future of a generation superstar, yes, the Broncos. We can definitely beat the Raiders twice. There was a comment earlier about if we can sweep the Chargers, that would be huge. Definitely fully expect we can go into Kansas City and beat them on their own turf. I mean, yes, the official record shows us as an L last year. Okay. We were a fingertip away from winning that game. And when you're talking about going to a place you haven't won in years, one of the most hostile, if not the most hostile place in the NFL, and you almost did that. Yeah, I'm okay with where we're sitting right now going into this next season.
And to listen to Kansas City and to listen to their radio stations, and especially with the playoffs game where we weren't even in the same bracket to even face Kansas City unless we beat Buffalo. Mm-hmm. And yet Kansas City had us on their mind quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if there was a team like Andy Reid pretty much said that if there's a team out there that I don't know that we really want in the postseason, it's Denver, because Denver has a great defense. And I think there was that edge, that kind of youthful like energy of not like showing them respect, but not like not being so differential and thinking that like Mahomes is the boogeyman and we gotta, it never felt like we were playing like the other shoe was gonna drop. We were playing to take it to him. We were playing to win that game, and frankly, we should have won that game. But
Agreed.
Again, and being a little ranty again, the Chiefs, the Chiefs know who we are, and they know exactly that if there was a time to get us, this was the time to get us. Next year when they may be faltering a little bit and we're trending up, I don't know that if that trend keeps playing out, that they're going to be the streak of dominance that they've had will be a memory, and it really they should really start savoring those, because I don't know that it's going to be a thing for too much longer.
It could be this year. I really think if I had to put a slogan together for the Broncos this year, if I had to, I would gladly, without even thinking, I would say return to dominance. I think that's exactly the mindset we need to have. Return to dominance. And that is, it's not a goal. It's not a, we want to get to that point. It's a, no, we have returned. We are back, and we are taking back what's ours. That AFC West title, you're done with it. Okay. That's the mindset that I want behind that phrase. Return to dominance. We are back. We're taking back what we want, what we deserve, and you're done. Go away. Sit down. Okay.
Yes.
𝐍𝐅𝐋, how you doing? Glad to see you here. Love the comments, guys. Keep them coming in. Hey, let's start wrapping up the show with another topic I saw early on from Judson. It was a great comment. But before I do, guys, remember the schedule is released on May 14th. We're going to do a show that following Tuesday to kind of go over all the specifics after we've had some time to digest it and think about, how it looks and where maybe some of the trouble spots are and whatnot. So make sure you're tuning in every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, and keep following along. Let's go back up to Judson's comment here. Mike Clay's projection numbers are absolutely ridiculous. He has the Broncos as the worst running back room and 31st wide receiver, worst in the league. Also has Jade and PS2 ranked as 63rd and 67th cornerbacks. Here's what I'm going to say to that. I think a lot of that is from the fact we don't have any real game tape on them. We have their college game tape, but you don't know how a player is going to really do in the NFL. I think these are numbers saying, I'm not willing to put any amount of money on these guys' success. I'm going to wait. And then I can say, oh, look at how amazing they were, but I think they are undervalued. And you go back to last year too. Look at what we were ranked last year, like 31 on the power rankings. And just week by week, we just rose. I think it's a very similar thing here. Look, when it comes to Jade, top 10 draft talent. The fact he fell to us, guys, as time goes on, I really think you're going to look at Jade Barron and say, how did we get him at 20? How was he not gone by number 8, number 9, number 10, number 15? How did we get him? I think he's going to be a huge. So I think the Broncos are looking at this schedule. They're looking at some of the trouble that we had this last year. And I like their approach of saying we need to tighten up on defense because we want teams to fear us and keep this youthful kind of feel to the team, youthful talent to the team, and relying on these young guys to step in and make big plays. I think these guys are going to absolutely kill it. So I love RJ Harvey. I love Jade Barron from what I've seen so far and what I expect from him. I think these numbers are absolutely ridiculous, Adam.
I mean, does he know that that PS2 won the defensive? Like, was he in a barn or on Mars?
Disrespect. That's all it is.
It's the PFF or Pro Football Focus vacation of the game. And don't get me wrong, PFF is, if you use it as a tool, it's good.
A good tool, right?
But there are some people that get so caught up in the in the special little categories of stuff that almost makes me feel like, do you watch the game? Like, have you sat not in front of your screen with a bunch of numbers? Like, have you seen the guys on the field doing the thing with the thing? And you know what? I'm glad that you like putting your name on stuff like that, because I would not.
Yeah,
that would be an anonymous thing. As far as Jade Barron, I was watching the playoff game from the Buffalo game, as I am wont to do, because I am a nerd and I like watching football. If there's a thing where I think you'll see Jade Barron really kind of firm up a little bit, is Denver is going to run defense out of a nickel. It's just, that's kind of how the NFL is trending. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to have 5-man fronts or to 3 linebackers anymore. You can't always do that when you have a smaller, not as sure tackler in Jaquan McMillan being that last guy to bring down a tackler or bring down a ball carrier. Jade Barron already upgrades that. So when you have a better tackler at that nickel spot, you're almost kind of saying it's like where they said in a pod last week, where Jade Barron's going to be kind of like the Joker on the defense now, where you're going to see him lined up. I think you're going to see him lined up in different pieces. Again, like Vance Joseph was a huge proponent of Isaiah Simmons back in Arizona, who didn't really have a position, but he just let him be like being like a star backer, like when you're in high school and you just basically let your best athlete do whatever.
Right.
Kind of think along those lines. So now you have a top 10 defense that now has just added a fun piece on top of it. And I don't know where guys get their rankings from other than like I don't know. But more power
Yeah.
to them. If they like making hot takes like that, then salute.
Oh man, I love it, man. There's a comment here Ken, Broncos need to be able to stop the run. That was the defensive weakness. Ravens and Bills just brought out a 6 O-line and ran the ball. I think that's definitely something they're looking at. And when you look at some of the signings, not just the free eight or the draft selections there, but why else would you go out and get Talanoa Hufanga and Drake Greenlaw? Those two names right there, there's a lot of emphasis on stopping the run. And so you're right, Ken, this was a big glaring hole for us. And again, first year team rebuild. Okay. There's going to be several glaring holes, but I think what we can see from their strategy here, they are trying to address that actively, very actively. You shut down the passing game with the backfield we have now. I mean, PS2 coupled with Jahdae Barron. I mean, that is going to be so scary. There are going to be guys, get ready for so many interceptions. Just get ready for it. Because we all know how this works. And you got the backfield that's going to buy the front end of the defense 1 to 2 more seconds to get that pass rush going, right? Or, then they start relying on the run, or they're trying to get the run game going, and we're just shutting that down. We are just shutting that down with these players. They have to pass. The pass game isn't there because of our backfield, and because the backfield's doing such a great job covering, they're getting all this rushing over to the quarterback. Teams are going to fall apart actively in front of our eyes week by week by week. Okay. And then it's just up to the offense to go out there and put up a decent game. They don't even have to be amazing. But with Bo Nix at the helm and you get a decent run game between Estime and RJ Harvey, holy crap, right? Like we are going to be, I don't see how this combination is going to fall apart unless, right, God forbid, there's an injury, or let's say some of this college talent just doesn't transfer over. But with what we're seeing from the talk of RJ Harvey and a lot of these other players, like there's some real ability on this offense now. Plus Bo Nix has a year under his belt. And if you don't think he's been studying everything this whole offseason, practicing and improving, and remember, he doesn't have a broken back anymore, he's going to be able to run himself, right? Like, guys, we have so much to be excited. You should be salivating at the prospect that this next season brings because of how long it's been since we've had a reason to be this excited. And I think it's all there in front of us, man.
I couldn't agree more. I keep it's hard to find a bad vibe right now. It's really hard to and I'm a nitpicker. I'm like, that's also called a hater as well. But it's just hard. It's just hard to find a really a big thing to I'm not crazy about this, or it's, if anything, it's trying to keep the emotions in check a little bit, and not looking for days off after a certain Sunday in February to
Yep. We might be doing a lot of postseason coverage this year. Remember, guys, last year was our 9th year doing this, and it was the first time we had ever gotten to cover a Broncos postseason playoff game. And I think we're going to get to see at least one this year, probably a home game. Again, I'm really feeling this whole winning the division thing. So you're looking at a home playoff game. And guys, it's just, yes, try to temper the expectations, but also I think it's okay to recognize where credit is due. and recognize that what you see with your eyes is like you can believe that and believe that they're going to continue to push forward. So, Sean, thanks, buddy. We did a hell of a job apparently, and guys, that's what we try to do. We try to do this all for you guys, the viewers. You're going to make me cry. Don't make me blush. I'm going to have trouble walking through the door. My head's getting too big. But guys, just keep coming back every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And before we get to our closing thoughts here, guys, a couple quick things. Remember, I've made the announcements. I'm going to stick to it. If and when, because I don't want to jinx us, if and when the Broncos hit 10 wins this season, we are giving away 3 𝐍𝐼𝐿 jerseys away to our fans. So watch out for some ways on how to enter for that. We'll be announcing that as it gets closer to the start of the season. But we're also going to be giving away a ton of other stuff as this is our 10th anniversary here at Bourbon Broncos and No BS. So fun, exciting stuff, guys. Get ready for it. Again, next week we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the schedule, last minute things that we're hearing. A bunch of rumors are going to start coming out by that point. And then just talk about a couple other little things before the schedule release, and then we'll talk about that the week after and have a great time looking at what the year is going to actually, have for us as we get into the fall. Yeah, Gary's right. My mascara is, I do, that's the one thing that,
It's smoky.
Oh, what's his name? The old Raiders quarterback.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. That's the one thing Derek Carr and I have in common is we both wear mascara. Except you can't tell with me. I actually make it look good.
You're making it smoky. It's a smoky look. There you go.
Smoky look. Yeah, Sean, if you already won one, then you get to choose a different color 𝐍𝐼𝐿 jersey. We'll see. Let's see if you actually win first. I know you won some prizes already, Sean. Love it. Okay, let's get into some closing thoughts here, guys. It's the middle of the off season, but it's moving along quickly. It's already May. The draft is behind us. I cannot believe I can sit here and say the draft is behind us. And we're looking at rookie mini training camps starting here soon. And we're going to get into OTAs, and then it's going to be training camp, preseason, and boom, we're going to be in the full swing of things before you know it. So, Adam, man, what are you thinking here with our closing thoughts?
My closing thought is about our favorite quarterback, Bo Chapman Nix. And I like to go back and kind of read some of the stuff that I've read or written previously. And I wrote this about another favorite of mine, which I take endless heat for, one Drew Lock. And I said, let's let Drew just be Jake Plummer before we christen him the next franchise pillar. And trust me, those two guys cast very big shadows here. And now I feel like I need to say this again when it comes to Mr. Nix. Let's let him be Jake Plummer before he is the next guy. And believe me, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because
it is.
We want, I think it's almost just a weird, Denver fans just have a very, we love to be connected with our quarterback. We want a quarterback to be us.
The quarterback is bigger than the mayor. I honestly believe that.
I don't think that's that far from the truth. I think more people know who the Denver Broncos quarterback is than who the mayor of Denver is.
Yeah.
So while I get it that we're dreaming big and that's fine. All I would say is let's let him be Jake Plummer first. And I think that's and more because I think it's more fair for him. And if there's guys who if there's guys who are littered through the annals of history as being the next guy who never lived up to being the next guy. Some of it is they just get put through the meat grinder with expectations. So I just that would be me. And so and I am like I said, I am a hater. So I like being here. And so that would be it. But also being okay with if he's just really, really, really good this year.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a huge stretch.
Yeah, I think if you go into the season saying Bo Nix had better win us a Super Bowl this season or he's an absolute piece of trash, that's wrong. That's very wrong, right? You should have the expectation that your team should get to the Super Bowl every year, win a Super Bowl, because that's what we like as Broncos fans. That's our expectation, right? Like that, you're going to do your damnedest to get there, and you're going to get pretty damn close. And if not, then we'll talk about it being a failure. But don't set these guys up for success, or don't set them up for failure with those expectations. Have high expectations, but not so high that then, it ruins the reputation. They break, then they get traded away, and we're starting from scratch again in a few years. Right. I like the point. I also like this. Well, first off, James, congrats on winning that draft hat a couple weeks ago, man. Glad you got it. Glad you like it, man. So we're already giving away stuff here for our 10th season at Bourbon Broncos No BS, guys. I like this. The experts are just doubling down on stupid this year because they were so wrong about Bo and the Broncos last year. And that does kind of make sense to me. They're like, we're so wrong. We're going to be more wrong this year. I don't know where they come up with some of these numbers. I really don't. Ken, I think you're right. Like, where you would think that they would say, hey, we looked at this team last year. We were way off on them. We should probably give them a little bit more credit, or at least recognize and give them credit for where they actually are. But, if we don't want to project what we think they could be capable of this season, you can say that, they're middle of the pack, probably number 14, 15 team in the league from where they left off last year. And I think that'd be incredibly valid. But then also say, hey, some of these players deserve the recognition of being one of the top in the league, like PS2. To say Bo Nix was, if he wasn't number one in terms of rookie quarterbacks last year, he was definitely number two. And to make that argument, there'd be nobody would bat an eye at that, because we're like, yeah, duh. So then to come out and be like, these Broncos suck, you're like, okay, dude, why? Why? But look, guys, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. There's reason to be excited for this season. And I know me saying that to the masses is going to increase the cost of ticket prices, meaning I probably won't go to every single game this year. But that's okay. If we're winning and we're getting good playoff seating and maybe even winning some playoff games, okay, I'm ready for it, guys, as you should too. So thanks to everyone for tuning in. I know we didn't get to a lot of the comments. Maybe we'll spend some time next weekend or next week going over some of the comments here, but there's a lot to talk about. So keep coming back every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, guys, as we just kind of push through the off season together. It's always a good time to hang out with Broncos country outside of football season and see how you guys are doing. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. Adam, thank you very much as always for helping out, buddy. It's good to have you part of the team, man.
Hey, I love being part of the team. I love being part of a team, and I love talking Denver Bronco football. So thanks for the invite, Kevin.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, everyone, you all take care. Have a good rest of your week and enjoy it, because before you know it, football will be here. Adam, man, I got nothing left to say other than end the show as we always do on a very strong Go Broncos.
Let's go, Broncos.
Take care, guys.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go.